Hello and welcome back to the another episode of Daily News Quiz Analysis for IAS Prelims 2025. It is 17th Feb today, and in this video we are going to solve some important questions which are very much relevant for your preparation. But before we will start our discussion, I would like to give the brief introduction about this initiative so that if you are new to our channel you will get more connected with us. Basically, in this video, we are going to discuss three types of questions from three different sources. The first type of questions which we are going to discuss here are taken from the current affairs. You know what we will do here. We will take up the most important articles from the newspapers. We will try to break them down into the simplest language possible, and we will try to derive the possible prelims questions from those particular articles so that it will give you the idea which part of the newspaper is important for you, what should be your approach when you are reading the news articles, and how you can expect a possible prelims question from these particular articles. This is what we are going to do in the first part of our discussion. After solving questions with respect to current affairs, we will shift our approach to the second part. Here we will discuss questions from the static portion or static topics. Currently we are discussing Indian polity, and in Indian polity we are discussing the office of the vice president. Today we are going to discuss the procedure of election for the vice president. So we'll frame a possible prelims question on that and discuss that, and it will give you the idea how the question can be asked in the exam. After solving questions with respect to current affairs and the static part, we will shift our approach to the last part of our discussion. Here we will solve a previous year question. To me, this is the most important part because in here we will learn what is the vocabulary which the UPSC uses for framing your papers, what are the different techniques they follow when they frame your papers, and what can be the different methods by which you can solve the questions if you don't have the proper knowledge. I'm talking about the elimination method here, and also how we can implement this knowledge which we get from this discussion in the upcoming exam. So this is what we are going to learn in this video. This is nutshell about the video. Now before we start solving the questions here, I would like to request you guys, please do subscribe the channel. When you subscribe us, it helps us grow, and please do share it with your friends so that they may also get benefited from this initiative. And also please do write in the comments what do you feel about this initiative. Now without any delay, let's have a look at the question which we had brought here. Here, as you can see on the screen, the question is basically about the marital rape. So before we will jump into the topic, what was in the news, I will give you the context of this question. Let's solve the question first, then we will go to the context of the question. Here, as you can see on the screen, the question says, with reference to marital rape in India, consider the following statements. First statement: the Indian Penal Code explicitly criminalizes marital rape, holding a husband liable for sexual assault against his wife. This is totally incorrect. It does not penalize, it does not explicitly criminalize marital rape. Even though it in a way protects, it gives the exception to the marriage, it gives exception to the marital rape if the age of the woman is below 18. Earlier it used to be below 15, but it was amended by Supreme Court and it was reduced below 18. If the age of the woman is below 18, then this marital rape case can be framed against him. Otherwise he is being given the exception under the IPC. So first statement, it is totally incorrect. It does not explicitly criminalize marital rape. Second statement, it says the concept of marital rape is rooted in outdated notions of implied consent within marriage, and is increasingly being challenged in courts and by women right activists. It is 100% correct. Now let me explain you what this statement says. When recently when IPC was replaced by BNS, and it was discussed that in the BNS there should be the provisions for the marital rape. And also when such challenges go to the Supreme Court, with respect to the marital rape, Supreme Court has explicitly mentioned that it is not their domain to discuss over it. It is something related to legislation, and it is the parliament who should make laws with respect to that. And when asked the framers of the law why they are not bringing the marital rape, why they are not criminalizing it in India, because they believe that if we will bring marital rape, it will dilute the it can dilute the system of marriage. It can dilute the system of marriage, or we can say it can dilute the institution of marriage. This, if marital rapes are there, if they are criminalized, it can be misused, and it will highly dilute the institution of marriage. And also in that, the lawmakers said one important thing. This is what it says, that this consent of marriage, consent, these are two separate things. One is concept of marriage, consent of marriage, then the another term is consent to have sex. According to the lawmakers, according to the government, they believe that when anybody is getting married, there is, it is the consent to have sex is very much hidden in it. It is there, it is very much implied in it, and it is very much understood in it that when you get married, you have this access to have sex. So that is why it is not something, out of consent. It is very much hidden in the institution of the marriage. This is what this statement second says: the concept of marital rape is rooted in outdated notions of implied consent within marriage, and is increasingly being challenged in courts and by women's rights activists. So this term 100% correct with respect to this question, because this is what the legislators highlighted, that when anybody gets married, the consent of having sex is very much hidden in that. So second statement is correct. Third statement, it says, while marital rape is not explicitly defined as an offense under IPC, 100% correct. And it further says legal recourses may be available to women under other laws such as those related to domestic violence and sexual harassment. 100% correct. Even though marital rape is not explicitly defined by IPC or BNS, but there are other recourses which are available to women by which she can protect herself. So with respect to this question, the correct statements are statement 2 and statement 3. Now we understood one thing about the marital rape in our country, that it is not criminalized yet. It is not explicitly criminalized. There are, provisions with respect to legislatures, the legislations. There are provisions which in a way protect the marital rape, which in a way legalize the marital rape in our country. We can say, unfortunately, with respect to that. But you may ask me a question now, sir. We discussed the question with respect to marital rape. We saw what is its position in our country. But can you please tell me why we are discussing this question? The reason why we are discussing this question is because of the case in the Chhattisgarh High Court. What was the case? There there was a couple. One husband's age was 40 years, and his wife, her age was 30 years. So what they had married, and unfortunately, this woman, she had faced sexual trauma, we can say, and in this she lost life. And this case went to the session court, and session court, what session court in the Chhattisgarh did, it it penalized the person who was involved. It penalized the husband. But the husband, he went to the High Court of the Chhattisgarh, and Chhattisgarh High Court, what he did, they freed the person, they freed the husband, because they said that in the legislature there is no such term which is a marital rape, and it is very much in a way in which way you would want to enjoy your sexual life. It is very much legalized, it is very much understood. So the term marital rape cannot be forced upon that person, and he was freed. So because of this, there is a discussion on the marital rape, whether it should be banned in our country like other countries are following, like UK and other such countries are following. We should also follow that. Even though we had brought our IPC from United Kingdom itself, but United Kingdom, after a very long time, they removed this. They went to the other part. They kept this marital rape as illegal in their country, and they, in a way, renovated their system. So it is a need for, there should be a discussion over it, whether India should also follow the same trend and go away from this term marital rape. There should be a very good discussion. Even though the terms which are highlighted by the legislators, that it can be misused, it can dilute the institution of marriage, that is also understood. You can understand it, but there should be a proper discussion over it, whether it should be legal, it should be banned, whether there should be penalties with regard to this. So here, what did we understood, that marital rape is very much in a way, you cannot file a case against your husband if you are a woman, and if you are in a sexual relationship, that the person is that you are marital, you were raped by your husband. When it will go to the courts, your case will fall. But you have different scenarios available. If unfortunately there is some sexual harassment or domestic violence, then you can go in those lines. But marital rape, it can be the answer. It can't be the source of your source of your case. It can be the reason of your case. And also here we understood that even though the marital rape is not available in our country for the protection of women, for the protection of married women, but still, if a woman is below, if she is below 18, then for her the consent is very much important. And if that woman files a case against her husband with respect to marital rape, that then that case can be very much entertained by the courts. So this is the all which I believe you should know about this. With this, let's move to the another question and see what we had brought on the next slide. Here the question, as you can see on the screen, it's very much unique question. Here the question talks about the Aman naval exercise. you know Before we'll jump into the discussion, let's see what this exercise is about, to which country it belongs to. The question says the Aman naval exercise recently seen in the news is a multinational maritime exercise hosted by which country? To your surprise, it is Pakistan. Now, you may ask me, sir, why we are studying about Pakistan? Why do we need to know about it? To students, it is very much important for a country, for you, for the aspirants, to know about our neighbors, what they are doing. And it has some geopolitical interlinking there. This Aman naval exercise, why it is in news? Because it is Bangladesh. Bangladesh also participated in it. So now I believe you are connecting it to your preparation now. If Bangladesh is participating in it, then what does it mean? The ties between Pak and Bangladesh are getting better. If the ties between Pak and Bangladesh are getting better, what does that mean? Issue for India, issue for issue for us, because we don't want Bangladesh, which is our neighbor, to go well with Pakistan. Because Pakistan, when Bangladesh was East Pakistan, they had always Pakistan has West Pakistan has always tried to create problems for us. The northeastern insurgencies, it is because of them there was definitely the connection to the Pakistan. So if right now the Bangladesh is coming close to Pakistan, it can be the problem for India. So why this is happening? Because after we saw that when Sheikh Hasina's government fell, then Mr. Yunus came in. He's the interim, he formed the interim government, and he's backed by the military. And with respect to that, now after the government which is formed in Bangladesh, that has very much anti-India stand. We had seen the human rights violation happening in Bangladesh. We had seen minorities being targeted in the Bangladesh, whether they are Hindus, whether they are Ahmadiyas, whether they are Christians. They were being targeted there. And also we had seen these sentiments of the people are changed right now. The earlier what it used to be, they are changing. They are moving towards the anti. They have very much anti-India stand in it, and they are moving towards the China and Pakistan. So in any way, it is not good for India. India does not want Bangladesh to be influenced by Pakistan. Neither India want Bangladesh to be influenced by China. So here, how can India handle this? India has to operate in a different way. We cannot put pressure on Bangladesh right now. We cannot what we did with respect to how we handled the case of Mr. Muizzu, Maldives. How did we handle that? We were very much, the people in our country, we lost in a way, because we could not lose our neighbors, because we need their back. We want them for our strategical importance. So we don't want to repeat the same with Bangladesh. We have to play the big brothers policy. We have to give them concessional loans. We have to provide them with the aids and grants. We had to provide them the security which they need, help them in the technology, and also the economic advantage we are enjoying. Pakistan will never enjoy that. So we can economically connect with Bangladesh. And also we can there are some, still, even though they are moving towards Bangladesh, China and Pakistan, but still there are people who were always anti-Pakistan, because of whom the Bangladesh was formed. The sentiments of them are always against Pakistan. We can highlight these sentiments. India can highlight these sentiments, and we can curb the presence, or we can curb the presence of Pakistan in Bangladesh. This is how this topic is important, and that's why this question is important, because it is important for India, because the Bangladesh, our extreme neighbor, it participated in this naval exercise. So with this, I hope you had understood the question as well as the background to it. Now with this, let's move to the another question and see what we had brought there. Here the question says, the 11th schedule of Indian Constitution deals with which of the following? So before we'll solve this question, before we'll go to the context of this question, let's solve the question first. Here the question says, the 11th schedule of the Indian Constitution deals with powers, authorities and responsibilities of municipalities. No. Powers, authorities and responsibility of panchayats. 100% correct. It deals with the panchayats. And under 11th schedule there are 29 items, subjects, we can say. In the 11th schedule there are 29 subjects which are to be provided, provided to the Panchayati Raj institutions. These subjects are to be provided to the Panchayati Raj institutions. Now here comes the topic why we are discussing it. We understood the question what it is related to. Why we are discussing this? Because there was an article which talks about that the Panchayati Raj movement is in decline in India, is in distress in India. How 73rd and 74th constitutional amendment, it gave the constitutional status to these Panchayati Raj institutions and municipalities, how they were empowered, how it gave the fiscal independence to these institutions, how it made the State Finance Commission to provide fiscal stability to these institutions. Even from 1992 itself, we had achieved great under these Panchayati Raj institutions and municipalities. But we had seen, first we will highlight the good things. We had seen regular elections happening, that people are much integrated in it. We had seen even the political parties, national and state political parties, central, even the recognized national political parties, they are participating. They are very much interested in the panchayats. And we had also seen how they had done great things for the people there, how they had done great things for the woman, how the representation of women has increased in the panchayats. Even for states there are 50% women participants. But at the same time we had seen the dilution of the Panchayati Raj. When for example, when the political parties had brought their interests in the Panchayat Raj institutions, it has diluted the very purpose of the panchayats. It has diluted the very purpose of the local governance. So there has been the interference from the central and state governments, and also the fiscal independence. Even though the center provides the funds to the Panchayat Raj institutions, but panchayats are not able to generate that much funds themselves. So it has diluted the autonomy of the panchayats. And also, even though there is 50% representation of the women from different states, but they are just puppets. For the reservation purpose, they are contesting the elections. The actual leader is their husbands. So panchpatis, we can say, they are actually who are controlling the panchayats. So even though at the same time we are seeing, we saw the rise of panchayats, but at the same time we are seeing the distress of the panchayats. And according to the study by the Ministry of Panchayati Raj 2022, it was highlighted that out of these 29 subjects which were to be allotted to the Panchayati Raj institutions, only 20% of the states have only 20% of the states have achieved it. So we are seeing less implementation of such things. So definitely there is definitely pressure on the panchayats, because the political parties are involving. They are highlighting there, because of their personal interests, they are diluting the working of the local governance. The lack of accountability from the institutions, lack of autonomy, because of lack of financial autonomy. Finance, they are not able to generate the finances, huge dependence on state and central funds. So because of all these issues, when they are collaborated, that's why we are finding out that the panchayats are in distress. So with this, I hope you had understood the question as well as the context behind it. With this, let's move to the another screen and see what question we had brought there. Here the question is with respect to rat hole mining. We had discussed a lot about rat hole mining, how it was illegalized by the National Green Tribunal in the country, how it is being seen in the Meghalaya and Assam, what are its types, we had discussed everything with respect to this question. As there was discussion over it, so I thought let's remind what this rat hole mining is about. So let's solve the question. The question says rat hole mining, often seen in the news, refers to first a traditional method of gold extraction using trained rodents. Incorrect. Second, a hazardous and illegal practice of coal mining involving narrow tunnels. 100% correct. So with respect to this question, the correct statement would be option B. With this, let's move to the another slide and see what question we had brought there. Here, the question is with respect to the global startup ecosystem report. The question is with respect to global startup ecosystem report. Why we had brought this question? Because Shashi Tharoor, who was recently criticized for for praising the prime minister, how he has developed his relationship with US, and at the same time he praised Kerala government for their startup environment. So this is the nutshell, the context of this question. Now let's solve the question. Here the question says, which of the following organizations publishes the Global Startup Ecosystem Report 2024, which is a comprehensive analysis of the global startup landscape? So which organization develops it? Is it World Economic Forum? No. Is it Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development? OECD? No. Is it United Nations Conference on Trade and Development? No. It is definitely Startup Genome. It publishes this report. So with this, we complete today's discussion with respect to current questions from the current affairs. Now let's move to the, sorry, we have one question left here from the current affairs. Let's see what that is. Here the question is with respect to the Cook Islands. You know why it is a news? Because China and Cook Islands, they had signed an agreement, and that does not go well with the countries which don't like China in a nutshell. Now let us see how a question can be asked with respect to that. If the question can be asked, the Cook Islands often mentioned in the news are located in which of the following oceans? A location based question can be asked with respect to Cook Islands. It is definitely located in the Pacific Ocean. So South Pacific Ocean. So the correct answer to this would be South Pacific Ocean, near in Oceania region. It was it was highly controlled by New Zealand earlier, and you can see it directly on the map here. Now with this, let's move to the another part of our discussion where we will solve some static topic question, to be more precise. Here, as you know, we are discussing Indian polity, and in Indian polity, now we are discussing the office of the Vice President. Yesterday, we discussed some important points related to Vice President. We discussed eligibility to be a Vice President. What is the eligibility criteria to be a Vice President? For example, he should be the citizen of India. He should have completed the age of 35 years, and also he should be qualified for election as a member of the Council of States, and he should not hold any office of profit under the government of India or state government. So these were few eligibility criteria for the Vice President. Now today we have to discuss about his election, about the election of the Vice President of India. So let's understand that election with respect to this question. Here the question says, which of the following statements regarding the election of the Vice President of India is correct? First statement, the Vice President is elected by an electoral college. 100% correct. Consisting of the members of both houses of the parliament. This is true. Now here comes a point. Are the nominated members of the Rajya Sabha, and when it was in the Lok Sabha, are they eligible to participate, in the election of the Vice President of India? Are the nominated members of the Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha eligible to participate in the elections of the Vice President? The answer to this is 100% yes, because in it all the members are can participate, belong to the electoral college. Electoral college consists of all the members of the both houses. So the nominated members also can participate in his election. So first statement is correct. So here we understood what does the electoral college consist of, and this question about electoral college for vice president, it was even asked in the exam once. Second statement, the election of the Vice President is held in accordance with the system of proportional representation by means of a single transferable vote. 100% correct. Same what we did with respect to President. So this statement is also correct. Third statement, it says the Vice President must be a member of either houses of the Parliament. Totally incorrect. It is not. He should be he should be available to be the member of the, we discuss, he should be qualified for election as a member of the council of states Rajya Sabha, but he should, it is not necessary that he should be the member of the either house of the parliament. This is totally incorrect. So with respect to this question, the correct statements are statement 1 and statement 2 only. So with this, we complete our discussion with respect to with respect to this static topic also. Now let's move to the another part of our discussion where we will solve a previous year question. Here, we are discussing questions from physical geography, and this question was asked in 2016. Now let's see what was the question. The question says tides occur in oceans and seas. 100% correct. Tides occur there. Due to which of the following? Gravitational force of sun. Most of the students will mark it correct. Second, gravitational force of moon. 100% of the students will mark it correct. Now the third option, centrifugal force of earth. They should have given directly the earth's revolution around the sun, or the rotation of the earth. Why they gave us the centrifugal force of the earth, to make you think over it. So the centrifugal force of earth is generated by rotation itself. So third statement 100% correct. So with respect to this question, what is the correct statement? Correct option is option 1, 2 and the 3. All the 3 are responsible for the tides in ocean and seas. So with this we complete our discussion. I hope you would have liked the video. I hope you would share it with your friends, and I definitely hope you would subscribe the channel. And I tried my best to not confuse you anywhere. If there is any confusion, please do write in the comments. We'll try our best to reach out to you guys and try our best to clear that confusion. With this, I would like to thank you. Have a nice day.